Hello everyone, tonight's story will take us not to the open seas or forgotten villages, but to the heart of cities and towns, into places where we feel safest, hotels. Hotels are meant to be temporary sanctuaries, spaces where travelers rest, eat, and prepare for their journeys. But there are some hotels that harbor secrets, rooms that whisper with shadows, places where guests check in, but are never seen leaving. Imagine walking down a carpeted hallway, the lights flickering slightly, the air strangely heavy. You pass closed doors, each hiding its own secrets, but one room stands out. Perhaps the number is missing, perhaps it feels colder as you approach, or perhaps it is sealed shut, forgotten by staff. That is the room we are entering tonight, the hotel room that guests never leave. One of the most famous and tragic tales linked to haunted hotel rooms is that of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. This building, towering in the heart of downtown, earned a reputation so dark that it has been called the most haunted hotel in America. Its hallways have witnessed countless suicides, violent crimes, and inexplicable events. In 2013, the case of Elisa brought worldwide attention to the Cecil. She was a Canadian student traveling alone who checked into the hotel and vanished. Weeks later, her body was discovered in the rooftop water tank after guests complained about the taste of the water. Security footage showed Elisa behaving strangely in the hotel elevator, pressing multiple buttons, peeking out, hiding as though someone or something was following her. To this day, no explanation fully satisfies the questions surrounding her death. Did she encounter foul play, suffer a breakdown, or did the Cecil Hotel itself, with its dark history, claim yet another victim? But the Cecil is only one of many. Across the world, hotels hold rooms that staff refuse to enter, that guests request to be moved from, that carry reputations of dread. In Japan, there is a well-known phenomenon of ghost hotels, where travelers report waking in the night to find shadowy figures standing over their beds or reflections in mirrors that do not match their own. In some hotels, entire floors are sealed off, never spoken of, as if erasing them could erase the horrors within. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado, which inspired Stephen King's The Shining, is another legendary place. Guests report hearing piano music in empty ballrooms, children laughing in hallways with no children present, and the feeling of being watched from closets and corners. But most unnerving are the accounts from specific rooms, where beds shake in the night, where hands are felt tugging at blankets, and where guests wake to see figures at the foot of their beds, silently staring. Why are hotel rooms so prone to stories of haunting? Perhaps because they are transient places, filled with the energy of thousands of lives passing through. Happiness, grief, betrayal, violence. All emotions linger in walls and carpets. Hotels are also places where many people die, far more than we realize. Illnesses, suicides, accidents, all leave an imprint. Some believe these restless souls never leave, bound to the very room in which they drew their last breath. There are darker tales too, not just of hauntings but of disappearances. In 2003, a Japanese businessman checked into a Tokyo hotel, left his belongings neatly arranged, and was never seen again. Security cameras never showed him leaving. No one witnessed his departure. To this day, the room remains associated with whispers of the supernatural. Similarly, in Europe, a traveling salesman once vanished overnight from his locked hotel room. His luggage, clothes, and wallet were still inside, but he was gone. No forced entry, no signs of struggle, only silence. Hotels hold a unique kind of terror because, unlike abandoned houses or forgotten asylums, they are still alive, still in use. People sleep in them every night, unaware of the history lingering in the walls. You may have already stayed in a room where something unspeakable happened, and you may never know it. Staff are often sworn to secrecy, managers refuse to admit rumors, and official records are scrubbed to protect business. Yet the truth remains, there are rooms where guests never truly check out. As we walk deeper into these tales, remember that next time you travel, when you slide your keycard into the lock and step into a silent, unfamiliar room, you may not be the only presence there. You may feel a cold draft with no open window, hear footsteps above when you are on the top floor, or glimpse movement in the mirror when you are alone. That is the nature of the haunted hotel room, a place where reality thins and mysteries wait behind locked doors. And so, our journey begins into the unsettling world of hotel rooms that guests never leave. From the infamous halls of the Cecil to forgotten inns in remote towns, from the shining inspiration of horror novels to real-life vanishings that remain unsolved, we will uncover the stories that make hotel doors something more than wood and locks. They are barriers between us and the unknown. Deeper we search into the history of hotels, the more we uncover stories of rooms that should never be entered, of doors that are locked not for safety, but for secrets. Some of these tales are based on documented events, others whispered through generations of travelers and staff, yet all share a chilling thread: the sense that hotels are not merely buildings, but containers of energy, absorbing everything left behind. Consider room 873 at the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel in Canada. According to legend, a family was murdered in that room many decades ago. Guests who stayed there reported hearing screams, bloody handprints appearing on mirrors, and sudden bursts of cold air. The hotel eventually walled off the room, removing the door completely, though attentive guests still notice an odd section of hallway where the space does not quite add up. It is said that those who linger there feel an overwhelming dread, as if the room's tragic history still echoes behind the plaster. In Thailand, a luxury hotel once faced a similar haunting after a guest was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Staff reported hearing footsteps in the hall long after the body had been taken away, and cleaning crews refused to service the room at night. To this day, many hotels across Asia practice rituals of cleansing and blessing, ensuring that spirits of former guests do not linger to disturb the living. One of the most unsettling aspects of hotel mysteries is the phenomenon of locked room disappearances. These are cases where a guest checks in, is seen alive, but is never seen leaving. In the 1980s, a man staying in an Eastern European hotel was found to have vanished completely. His room remained locked from the inside, his belongings untouched. The window was sealed. Investigators could not explain how he had left, or where he had gone. Some suggested secret passageways, others darker possibilities, that something not of this world had taken him. Even more disturbing are cases where multiple guests share the same experience of dread in the same room. In London, one historic inn gained a reputation after several unrelated travelers awoke in the night to see a shadowy figure at the end of the bed. Each described the figure in the same way: a tall man in a dark suit with no face. Guests fled in the middle of the night, refusing to return. The room was eventually removed from the hotel registry, kept locked, though staff whisper it is still there, silently waiting. Hotels, by their nature, are crossroads of human life. Thousands of people pass through, carrying with them joy, sorrow, hope, and despair. Some come for honeymoons, some for business, some for secret affairs, and some for their final night. All that energy leaves an imprint. Psychologists might call it suggestion, a trick of the mind influenced by stories. But those who have felt the weight of something pressing on their chest in the middle of the night, who have heard whispers when alone, would argue otherwise. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado, which inspired Stephen King's The Shining, has become one of the most famous haunted hotels in the world. Guests staying in room 217 have reported items moving on their own, the sound of a woman's laughter, and lights flickering in pattern. The hotel embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours. Yet those who stay in its most infamous rooms often leave with stories they cannot explain. King himself claimed to have had disturbing dreams there, which inspired the creation of the Overlook Hotel, a fictional place that nonetheless feels all too real. But not every haunted hotel story ends with ghostly whispers. Some involve crimes so strange they feel almost supernatural. In 1947, the body of Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was last seen at the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles before her gruesome unsolved murder. The hotel became forever tied to her disappearance, its hallways echoing with rumors of what she may have seen in her final hours. Similarly, in other parts of the world, Guests have checked into hotels only to vanish completely, their names never traced, their records erased, as if the building itself had consumed them. The terror of hotel mysteries lies in their closeness to us. Unlike faraway haunted castles or remote woods, hotels are places we all visit. They are ordinary, modern, and accessible, yet hidden within them are rooms that conceal darkness, secrets that may never be revealed. Next time you travel, ask yourself, why is that one door always locked? Why do certain rooms cost less than others? Why do some guests leave in the middle of the night without explanation? The hotel room that guests never leave is not always marked by a number. Sometimes it is disguised as a normal space, but the moment you step inside, the air feels wrong. Sometimes the terror begins with a sound, a knock at the door when no one is there, a phone ringing with only static on the line, a face in the mirror that vanishes when you blink. Sometimes the terror never ends because the guest is never seen leaving. And so as we close this story, imagine yourself alone in a hotel room tonight. The hallway outside is silent, the curtains sway gently though the window is closed. You hear a soft knock at the door, but when you open it, the hallway is empty. You return to bed, heart racing, but when you glance at the mirror, there is someone standing behind you. That is the fear of the haunted hotel, the room that guests never leave.